You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey there, welcome to episode 288 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, April the 19th, 2020.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you? No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
By your command.
Greetings, everyone. I'm your host, Shawn, and with me, live via Skype, it's Josh. Hey, Josh.
Ahoy!
How's it
How
going?
Are you?
I'm good.
I'm doing good. I'm doing okay.
You're doing okay. It's been a while since we've been able to record, so we figured we can't get together. Let's do a Skype.
Yeah, and we'll see how this works out.
Yeah, we've never done this before. We're always at your kitchen table drinking tea. Not today.
Not today. I'm in my basement drinking mead.
And I'm in my basement not drinking anything. All right. So how have you been keeping the last month or so?
Not bad. Like, what else I'm going to say, right? Everybody knows what's going on. So, like, I'm still going to work every day.
Right.
So there's that. Have you guys stopped working? Because I have not seen a mailman at the building for like 3 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I've been on holidays for the last week, so I don't know what's been going on over there. I start up again this Monday after 10 days off, which was quite blissful. But, yeah, I don't want to go back.
By choice or by arrangement?
By arrangement. We had to pick vacation, and I picked the second week of Easter so I could get a stat holiday for a floater day later on. And it just happened to be during pandemic time, which worked out in my favor quite well.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Katie's shut down. The whole comic book shop is shut down. So there's that. Kids are at home. Fortunately, my kids are indoor kids, so
yes,
being stuck inside all day does not bother them at all.
That's good.
And I built myself a hand sanitizer still.
Oh, how does that work?
It's like a regular still, except I just let it go all the way up to 95% alcohol. And I take out the first half and put that into my hand sanitizer. And the rest of it I just put into a bottle for later use. Who knows what else I might use it for. Right? Nobody knows what I might use it for.
Nobody knows.
So yeah, I did that.
And it's working out pretty well?
Yes. The first batch I made was the maple stuff I had because it was good. It just, it's too maple. It's too much maple. You can take a shot was fine. A whole glass. You're like, why am I drinking maple syrup again?
Okay.
So, yeah, that ended up going into the still. I got about a liter of hand sanitizer that smells like maple. And then I got about half a liter of leftover. I just wouldn't go up to high enough percentage, so that's stuck at like 60% alcohol.
Yeah.
And then I did the same thing with the peach stuff. So now I have about half a liter of hand sanitizer that smells like peaches and about a liter of stuff that it's about 60%. I don't know what else to do with it.
I'm sure you'll figure something out.
I'm certain I will.
Oh, definitely. So you're still going into work?
I'm still stuck going into work. It is
dead.
It is quiet and dead.
Are there any businesses open?
Banks open, doctor's office is open, the court is open for emergency things only. The computer store is open. He's the only store in the building that's still open. Well, he's technically an essential service, right?
Is he?
Yeah, he's IT support.
Ah, okay. I guess that makes sense.
So, like, he does repairs on computers is his main thing. So, yeah, he's considered an essential service. So he gets to keep his store open.
Who knew?
Yeah. And then everybody else is gone. So it's very quiet.
Yeah, what do you do all day?
Oh, I have lots of work to do.
Oh.
It's just quiet while I'm doing it.
Oh, okay, you're not being interrupted by customers.
Customers or tenants. Because like a lot of the time, like I'm in the middle of doing one of my big projects, building a wall or doing something like that, and this tenant wants you to come in and fix this, or this tenant's got a problem with that. So I'm like, oh, all right. So now I'm actually getting my big projects done, and like I didn't get interrupted this entire time.
And how does that make you feel?
It's kind of nice, but it's kind of weird.
Eerie.
Yeah, because like the other day I spent 4 hours working on the wall in the lawyer's office, putting up security mesh behind new drywall, right?
Yep.
And I did the entire thing without getting interrupted, and I'm like, I better go check to make sure the building's okay.
Right, because that's never happened before.
Exactly.
Well, that's kind of cool in a way, but probably a little bit lonely. But you're still listening to podcasts or audiobooks?
I'm still listening to podcasts and audiobooks. I haven't gotten any new series. Everything I got is a continuation of what I was already listening to. So I got nothing else new to recommend.
Oh, that's unfortunate, because I'm sure our listeners would be interested in what you've been up to lately.
Well, you know what? In this time, you got to find something to keep yourself occupied with, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, there's only so many... Like, I get bored of watching too much TV in a row, right?
Yeah, you can only do that for so long.
I'm like, my kids, fortunately, they got, like, their homework to do. Because, like, I'm fairly certain they would just get bored during the day if all they had to do was play video games. Because, like, even when I was a kid, like, I couldn't play video games for days on end without getting bored of it, right?
No, you can only do that for so long, except for my son, who seems to eat, sleep, and breathe the computer and doesn't want to do anything else.
Yeah, well, you can do that for a while, but then you reach the point where he's either doing stuff that you don't want to see, or you're not looking.
Right, that's true.
And because like when I was a kid, I could play video games for 12, 14 hours, 20 hours straight. But then I need to do something else.
Well, yeah, it kind of makes you feel gross, doesn't it?
Not really. It's just, I'm like, okay, this I've been doing long enough. So I would need to switch. So I used to play video games for a long time, watch TV for a long time, then go outside for a long time, do everything in like huge chunks of time.
But a bit of variety, anyway.
Yeah, not the same thing every day for weeks on end.
And your kids are doing their homework, and that's going okay? The homeschooling part of it?
Katie's doing a really good job with them because she's not working, so she's at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, the school is not sending them either challenging enough stuff or enough homework.
Oh.
Right? Because like it's all homework now at this point.
Well, yes, because there's nothing else they can do.
So they're not really receiving any instructions from the school. They're just getting homework.
Oh, okay.
And like, but they're not getting, either they're getting like, okay, here's some really simple stuff just to say we did something in that category. Or they're giving them like, okay, here's a bunch of stuff, do this. What's the explanation? Doesn't matter.
Just do it to keep you busy for a while.
Yeah. So like, hopefully they'll switch to like digital classrooms where they can like actually, interact with the teacher.
That would be
rather than just being handed stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think we need to do something because here in Ontario, at least, the state of emergency is till so far going May 12th, I think it was.
This is going to continue for a while.
Oh, yeah, this isn't ending anytime soon.
Yeah, and I was talking to Dr. Giussani in the building, and he's like, okay, look, we're going to go up, we're going to flatten out for a while, it's going to come down, and then it's going to go back up. Don't be fooled when it starts going down. We're going to get a second spike. That's the way it always happens. People are going to get into false confidence, and they'll be like, oh, it's over, and then they'll start interacting again, causing a second spike.
Of course.
So if we're not done the first crest of the wave, so like this is going to last for quite some time.
I agree. We have lots to look forward to, lots of indoor time. Better settle down for the long haul, is what you're saying.
Yeah. From what Dr. Giussani said, don't expect to be doing anything until September. Yeah.
Okay. Well then, because I know that just the other day they finally announced that San Diego Comic-Con 2020 was canceled.
Yeah.
They held out for as long as they could, but it's over now for official.
Yeah.
Not
that. It's not like you could have done anything otherwise.
Well, no, that's right. because that was supposed to be late July, and we're mid April right now. So yeah, no, it's not enough time.
No, like you can't go week by week on that kind of thing because people need to have. It's a big enough venue that people got to plan shit out far enough in advance.
Oh, definitely, yes, and better off to cancel it. Everything's canceled. Nothing exciting is happening. Although tonight, as we record, it's Saturday night, and there is the big worldwide concert that they're putting on at 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. Did you know about that?
I don't have TV, Sean.
It's going to be on Facebook and YouTube and on the radio. It's everywhere. 8 o'clock tonight. I think it's One World Coming Together or something, and it's Lady Gaga and I can't remember who else they said, but there's so many people, and they're just doing it from their living rooms or their studios or whatever, and they're going to try to coordinate it worldwide.
Okay.
So that's something, I guess.
Okay, so you remember in the 80s they had the one for Africa?
Yes.
Okay. That was a big thing. It went off in many cities, but it was a full-on concert experience.
Right.
That I can get. That's like, okay, that's a full concert experience. I could see you watching that at home and still getting the feel for a concert. This is going to be basically famous people on YouTube videos stringing it together.
That's kind of what I'm suspecting.
So, like, I don't know how exciting that's going to be. Like, if you're jazzed for it, cool. But if I wanted to watch a Lady Gaga song, I just go on Google, on YouTube, and type in the Lady Gaga song and watch the official video.
Yeah, because the sound production will probably be a lot better.
And if not, that means you got too many people at your house working on keeping your sound quality up.
And that's not social distancing, is it?
Exactly.
Right. So, yeah, I only heard about it yesterday on the news, actually. So, I don't know. I think I'll check it out just to see. I might turn it off because it's boring, but we don't know because that hasn't happened yet.
Well, we'll check it out, I guess.
Maybe.
But I don't know. To me, it's not a thing that I'd be interested in. I don't think.
No, it's not something I would normally watch, but I figured I'll give it a go. It might be an historic event, and maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be a monumental disaster, but either way, it's something.
Hey, monumental disasters are still world events.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Hey, podcast fans, Spotify is making it easy for you to stream this podcast and many others like it on your mobile device, desktop app, and smart speaker. Open the app on your mobile device or desktop, click on the browser channel, then click on the podcast section. You'll be able to stay thoroughly entertained during your commute to work, your drive home, and your downtime, thanks to Spotify.
What was the latest thing? We had the Australian fires in January. I can't remember what happened in February. Was it February?
Yeah.
What was January?
World War III, January.
That's right. And the wildfires were February. Corona in March, and now we have wildfires in Chernobyl.
Yeah. Okay. Let it burn. Big deal.
Well, it's stirring up all the radiation apparently.
Yeah. What are you going to do, send people in to fight the fire?
Who knows? I just read the headline there the other day. I haven't actually read any of the articles, but, it's just one thing after another.
Like, yeah, you're going to have some of the particles get stirred back up into the air, but a lot of particles have already been seeped into the earth.
Oh, well, because it's 34 years old now.
Yeah, like it's still a dangerous area and you should not go there.
True.
All these people that are like going tourist things to Chernobyl, don't. You're stupid.
Yes.
But, like, don't worry about a forest fire there. Just don't let it spread and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, let it burn that whole area down.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to go about it, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not a scientist or anything, but lots of different things every month. So you never know what to expect.
If I was Russia, I would just send crews to go around the leading direction of the wind, right?
Yeah.
And well beyond the radiation zone in full protective suits and knock down a bunch of the trees and create a giant fire break hundreds of miles from the source and let it burn.
Contain it that way.
Yeah. Don't get anybody close. Don't put anybody in radiation danger and just let it burn. What else are you going to do?
I don't think there's much else you can do, really.
No.
So let's talk about some geek stuff. What do you think about that?
Sure, we'll try.
Okay, well, before we do that, we should play a promo for Dr. Geek's Lab here on the ESO Network.
Claire here with a special announcement. Contrary to popular belief, I didn't cancel Dr. Geek's laboratory. It fell into development purgatory thanks to MacGuffinite crystals or some such science from fiction nonsense. I've put an end to that. I locked all the staff inside the laboratory for the duration of the crisis. Now they can create 24/7 without petty distractions like home lives or free will. Look for new Dr. Geek episodes coming soon. The gay dynamics last up against the wall when the robots rise.
And that's a wonderful podcast that's coming back with new episodes. Are you going to check that out?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? So what geek things have you been up to lately?
Mostly I've been watching anime. The new season's just come out. There's a few shows that are kind of interesting that I'm checking out. Mm-hmm. But I will give you after I've watched 3 full episodes of everything.
Yeah, okay.
Review.
Yeah.
But I've been checking out that, listening to audiobooks. There's not much in the way of new nerd stuff, and I think we're suffering for it.
We are. There's a huge lack of content for our episodes. Last week I had to do an old episode from 6 years ago, just recycling, because there was nothing to talk about. I've been reading a lot. I've been reading Matthew Reilly. Have you ever heard of that guy?
Matthew Reilly. Not offhand, the name does not seem familiar, but I have been day drinking.
Ah, okay. That's fair enough. He's an action adventure writer. The latest book I read was the 3 Secret Cities, and it's in a continuing saga of the Jack West Jr. cycle. First one was the 7 Ancient Wonders, and then the 6 Sacred Stones, 5 Greatest Warriors, I believe, the 4 Hidden Kingdoms or something, and then this one. And he's basically discovering all kinds of different things. He found the capstone for the Great Pyramid of Egypt, and he just competed in the Great Games. He found the Mace of Poseidon and Hades' helmet or something, and he's trying to save the world. And he's always being attacked by secret societies.
Okay.
So it's quite exciting. It's high adventure, fast paced. In the last book I read, the 4 Secret Kingdoms, I think, Matthew Reilly actually has 2 series of books, one with Jack West and one with Scarecrow is the other guy, and they actually met for the first time, and it was quite exciting. His 2 book series came together.
So there's a writer that I've been listening to, and his 1 book series, Super Sale on Superheroes, mm-hmm. Right? I listened to that entire thing, and it was very good, and I found it interesting. I did not know that he had a nom de plume that he goes by for his other stuff, because I was listening to this book, I'm like, he keeps mentioning things that are kind of familiar. And then a scene that you saw in the other book, you saw from the other vantage point in this book.
Oh, I love when they do that.
And I'm like, okay, so I know who you are now.
Right. And who's the guy?
I would have to check my phone for the exact name. Randi Darren is one of his, like this is named de plume.
Okay.
That's where his more mature stuff is.
Ah.
I don't remember his other name.
That's okay. You're on the phone right now anyway with the Skype, so don't worry about it. But people could look it up from that. So it was exciting. You liked the way that happened?
It was interesting. It was unexpected. I think I prefer the other set of characters much better.
Ah, okay.
I like Felix better than I like this guy, the main character. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, because
and it just so happens that you read both authors' stuff.
I like the lit RPG genre, and I like the fantasy genres. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the stuff was written in that thing. So I picked it up, and it just happened to be the same author going from other sides. But it was interesting.
Well, that's neat when that happens. It's like a little Easter egg almost.
Yeah,
a surprise of some kind.
I think it points people who read the more sexy time stuff to his other work rather than pointing the other way. Because like you can find the other stuff because he makes mentions of things like, oh, I would rather do this than be a pencil pusher. A pencil pusher should be like somebody named like Felix. And like that's Felix's name in the other book, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so he mentions that kind of stuff. So you could find clues to that in his one book, but you would not find it the other way around.
Right.
So
well, that's pretty cool. I like that. I mentioned in one of my previous episodes, I think when I was talking to Robin, I think I was trying to get your goat with the Anime as Fancy Cartoons title. I watched all 13 episodes of Picking Up Girls in a Dungeon.
Okay, so you watched the first 13 episodes.
That's all they have on Netflix.
Yes. There are 3 seasons plus a side story, whole other season that involves the lady Von What's-Her-Face.
I don't remember.
No, her that's what the goddess always calls her, Valen What's-Her-Face.
Oh, yes, okay.
Okay. There's a whole other season that just involves her that does not involve the main storyline. And then season 4 is coming this summer.
Oh, okay.
So you got a lot to get caught up on, man.
You know what? I was actually able to watch the whole thing. Normally, I'll start an anime thing and I'll be like, not interested. But this actually kept me going, so that was nice.
Can I recommend one for you?
Of course.
It's called Beaufury.
Beaufury. Okay, tell me about this.
Or I don't. The full title is I don't like to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
Okay.
Okay. It's super cute. Super playful show. It's literally they're in a video game, so like it's not they're trapped in a video game. It's not they're isekai'd into a video game like world. No, they're just playing a video game and you're going along for the ride.
Oh, okay.
And it's a very cute and fun and happy show, and you will love it.
Okay. And where can I find this?
It's on any of your anime sources that you normally would check them out, like Crunchyroll or whatnot.
Okay.
I think Funimation thing has it. Or you could, get it from less reputable sources.
Oh, we would never do that.
No, here at the Rest of the Robot, we do not condone getting it from the less reputable sources.
Exactly. That's awful.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, definitely I'll have to check that out one of these days too. Awesome. Let's see here. Just looking through the Facebook page for the Rusted Robot, different pop culture things that happened. 2 weeks ago, we lost the actress Honor Blackman. She died at the age of 94. She played Pussy Galore in the James Bond film.
94?
She was 94.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So comicbook.com reported on that on April 6th. And then this past Wednesday, we lost Brian Dennehy. And if you remember him, he was the small-town cop in Rambo First Blood.
Oh, no.
Yes. Yeah, so he was 81.
Yeah, he was the jerk.
He was the jerk cop, yeah.
I never got that.
Why he was that way?
Why he was such a jerk, yeah.
Just to get the plot going, I guess. Because it didn't make any sense.
But the thing is, people should recognize I see what's happening here. But I didn't understand that.
Yeah, maybe it was just the small town America, and there was some kind of what's the word I'm looking for, Josh? The way whoever wrote it saw small town America and just portrayed them like that, like Hicks or whatever, I guess.
Well, it wasn't like it was the cruelty of the cops. Okay. The sheriff was a jerk for arresting him because he wanted to get food in town. He had money.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy's walking across the country instead of driving, but he's not a vagrant if he has money in a bank account, which he did.
Exactly.
Okay, whatever, he arrests him. But if you remember, in the prison, in the jail, the way the cops treated him, they were holding him across the neck with a nightstick, and they were spraying with a hose. They were being very cruel about it,
yes.
which causes his flashbacks and gets the story rolling. I understand that,
mm-hmm.
but I don't see how you would be deliberately cruel like that, right?
No.
I know I'm being naive, thinking okay, cops can't be deliberately cruel, but as a social group, they were cruel to him.
Yes, all of them except for a young David Caruso who wasn't too bad.
He went along, though.
He did. But he was the least worst one.
Yeah, but being the least worst on the worst team is not the
best.
Not meaning you're good.
No, true enough.
So, like, that movie, that aspect of the movie always confused me.
Yeah, but so that actor passed away, and I think that means we should go watch some First Blood in honor of, because that's a great movie.
It is a good movie.
Mm-hmm. And of course, he did lots more stuff. He was in Cocoon, and he played Chris Farley's dad in Tommy Boy, and all kinds of other things. And there's a whole article on our Facebook page if you want to learn more about the actor. Other than that, I've got news here that Rosario Dawson wants to play Q in Star Trek Picard and in Discovery.
Black alert. Black alert.
Did you come across that?
She wants to play Q?
Yeah, a Q, not John
I was going to say
Q, but
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's just, let me pull up the article here, and it says here she's a Star Trek super fan, and she's been getting a lot of buzz lately for potentially being in The Mandalorian as Ahsoka. Now she wants to join the Continuum. She was a guest on Variety's After Show talking about her arc on something called Briar Patch. And it says here, I'm hoping, and I'm not trying to be greedy, but since we're talking about Star Wars and we're talking about fan casting, if I get Mandalorian, it's 1,001% because of fans. Also, the Star Trek, okay? That's it. I'm just putting it out there. The two universes, Star Trek and Star Wars. I get in those two. I'm telling you, that's it. I will just retire. And she goes on to say, I was thinking that I know people who do makeup on it, and I could just be a background Romulan or Vulcan or whatever. It would be so fun to just throw me in there. I could just walk through as a Klingon, just something in the background. And apparently her brother got really mad and said, absolutely not. He says, you have to be a captain. And her brother plays Star Trek Online and loves it, I guess. Rosario's dad said she should be Q because there's a male Q, there's female Q, there's young Q. They're all just Q. And it's the Q continuum. It would be great. Then I could jump on Discovery and I can be on Picard. I just want to be on with Jean-Luc Picard.
Well, that's being a bit greedy.
A little bit.
But, okay, whatever. If if they can find a good way to squeeze Q into the story.
Right, exactly.
But like, there's no way to bring Q in without it either being A.
Oh, I think he just disappeared.
Or B, it's all about the Q.
Can you say that again?
Like,
you said A and then you disappeared.
So it's either A, it's going to be a filler episode, right? Yep. Or B, it's going to be all about the Q and nothing else.
That's true. So it's hard to say. And I'm just looking...
That powerful without it... You can't bring something that powerful without it looking like, well, all right, this is now the focus of everything. So it has to be a throwaway episode.
And they don't really do those anymore.
No, because like they have a tighter schedule on their shows, which makes a more compelling show in general.
Yeah.
But you lose some of the fun of the throwaway episodes.
You do because it has to be so tight that there's no time for little mini diversions.
Like Trouble with Tribbles is a throwaway episode.
Yes.
Well, not Trouble with Tribbles, because all of the original series was throwaway episodes. They didn't have a real arc.
Yeah,
but
true.
But for DS9, more Trouble with the Tribbles or Trials and Tribulations. I don't know what that one's called.
Yeah, Trials and Tribulations, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So for that one, that one's a throwaway episode, and that DS9 definitely had a story arc.
Oh yeah.
So that one is just a fun episode.
So just looking through more articles from TrekMovie.com, it says here Patrick Stewart does not want a pandemic storyline for season 2 of Picard.
Why would they do a pandemic storyline?
Because executive producer Akiva Goldsman has put some thought into it, apparently.
You don't we don't need that.
No.
Like we're dealing with it now. Like.
Yeah, that's the last thing we want to watch on our escape television.
Yeah. It's like, do you remember for the longest time on Law & Order, like a few months after a big event, there's a Law & Order episode, and like, oh, nothing that is depicted here is based on reality. It's all fiction.
Yes.
But like, it's like, oh no, I recognize this from the news. This is the celebrity sex tape episode.
Ripped from the headlines, yeah.
Yeah, basically. And like, we don't need that for Star Trek.
No, we definitely don't. It's true. Further on here, I'm just reading the headlines. Ethan Peck says he has drunk the Star Trek Kool-Aid and would love to play Spock in the new series, or a new series. And of course, he played Spock in season 2 of Discovery. And everybody wants a Captain Pike series with him in it. So who knows what's going to happen? You didn't? Did you ever get any more Picard done?
No. So, my source for it dried up.
Okay. All right. LeVar Burton confirms discussions to appear in Star Trek Picard, so he might come in season 2.
Okay. I don't like Geordi without the visor.
Oh no?
I don't like Geordi without the visor. It doesn't look right. I like LeVar Burton. LeVar Burton can go around with eyes.
Yeah.
Geordi can't go around with eyes. He needs a visor.
Geordi needs a visor.
Geordi needs a visor. You can't be going around without a visor, Geordi.
It's not Geordi without a visor.
Exactly.
I think you're right. And the final news from Star Trek here that I have is that 2020 or 2020 is the 25th anniversary of Star Trek Voyager. And guess what? Kim and Paris are back together again. Robert Duncan McNeil and Garrett Wang are launching a new podcast called The Delta Flyers, and it promises inside stories as the pair plan to rewatch every episode of Voyager, with the first episode arriving in early May.
I don't think we've seen that before as a podcast, have we? Where the show people are actually doing the podcast about the show?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, nothing that I can recall or that comes to mind. I'm sure there has been, but.
Well, maybe, but not with a show as big as Star Trek.
No, I think you might be right. So it says here on his Twitter, Robert Duncan McNeil says, "Hey guys, check out the new adventures with Garrett Wang. We'll be rewatching and sharing inside stories of every Voyager episode, starting with the pilot. More to come." So you can follow them on Twitter at the Delta Flyers. So that's my least favorite Star Trek series, but I might listen to that podcast.
Voyager's your least favorite?
It's my least favorite.
Huh. Well, what's your ranking then?
It's hard to say. I think the first 3 are all right at the top, and then Enterprise and
whoa. First 3?
Yeah.
So original series, the animated series, and TNG?
No, I don't count the animated series. I guess I should.
You should.
I should. Okay.
It's in Star Trek.
Yes. It's always been a toss-up for me between Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, which I like more.
Okay. All right. So those 3 in the front. Mm-hmm. And then Voyager's at the bottom. Yeah. Where's Enterprise?
Enterprise comes after the first 3.
Okay.
And then Voyager. As for Discovery and Picard, I don't know where to rank them yet because I haven't had enough time between.
Well, Discovery's season 3 now?
It'll come out soon, it says. We don't have a confirmed date as to when Discovery's coming out, but season 3 has finished filming. They haven't finished production on it, though. So.
Okay, so you've had a full season to absorb.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, it's not the most recent season, but you've got a full season.
Yes.
So you got to be able to rank it.
Okay. Well, I still like it better than Voyager.
Okay.
And Picard was excellent. It was only 10 episodes though, and it's the most recent series to come out, so it's still hard to get any distance from it because the main shows came out in the 90s. So I've had 20-30 years to absorb it and rewatch it 15 times, right? So
Sure. Where does the animated series fall on this?
You know what? I'm just going to lump it in with the original series. But
no, you can't. You can't lump it in with the original series.
Are you sure?
Those are way different shows.
They are, and I don't believe I've watched them all. I own I own the box set, and I've put them in, but I don't know that I've paid too much attention to them.
So, you should. They're terrible.
Yes, they are.
But they got that classic 80s animation, like He-Man, right? Same company made it.
10 years before He-Man, even.
Yeah. So, it's got that same animation. It's got a crossover episode, which is fantastic.
A crossover episode?
Yeah, with the Larry Niven's Ring World, of all things.
Yes, the slaver weapon. Yes, I've seen that several times.
So, that's a crossover episode.
And not only that, in Star Trek Picard, we got a mention a shout out to that episode itself.
Really?
Yeah, because the Kazinti are the characters in that, and they mentioned that in the Riker episode.
Huh. Well, that is fantastic.
I thought you'd like that. So yeah, it's hard to rank it all, I guess.
All right. Well, no, it's not really.
Okay, you give me your ranking.
Next Gen, Voyager, original series, because original series was a bit slow for some of the episodes.
Mm-hmm, true.
Enterprise, animated series, and then Picard.
And then Discovery, I guess.
No, because I gotta fan shows go in next, and then crude drawings on the internet, and then vague things that kind of look like the Enterprise in a rock formation off in the distance, or a cloud goes next, and then the parody shows go,
right,
and then everything else, and then with my dying words, I still won't say the Discovery.
Okay. All right. So you don't like it, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
You don't like it a lot.
No. I've taken peeks. I've only watched the first 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know you're on to the second season and there's more happening and da-da-da-da. But I've taken peeks at different scenes and it's still the same thing.
True.
Still the same dark and broody, and I don't that's not Star Trek to me. I can't do it.
And you don't have to. It's okay. Okay, so getting away from Star Trek for a bit, have you seen the 2 trailers that came out regarding NBC's Peacock streaming service?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen the particular trailers about it.
Okay.
But what are you going to watch on NBC?
Well, they released a 1-minute trailer just for the streaming service itself, with a bunch of words and stuff, and who's on it and whatnot. It says here, the sizzle reel showcases the classic television series and films available to stream, from Cheers and The Office to the Shrek films and live sporting events. It'll also have its own library of original programming, including the revival series of Saved by the Bell and Punky Brewster. And that's the second trailer, the Saved by the Bell trailer.
Remember how much fun high school used to be?
You believe that was 30 years ago.
These kids, they can be sheltered.
You're so hot and popular. You're like Justin Bieber if he wasn't 100 years old.
And clueless.
Bayside is 99% paperless, so getting your books is kind of a pain in the ass. Oh, it took forever.
Time out. What did that blonde fool just say to me?
It may look like I'm a hot, happy guy.
You're a gym teacher, and I saw you eating soup in your car.
When I was in high school, I constantly used to fight with my best friend over a hot girl. I was actually your dad. Over your mom. Then I just found another girl that I really liked, and I started hooking up with her instead. Oh, wait, that was your mom.
Okay.
So if you like Saved by the Bell or Punky Brewster, it's coming back.
Okay, wait. Is it the same cast, but as adults, or are we following a new cast?
Well, actually, the trailer for the Saved by the Bell series has some of the new cast. It's got Slater and what's his name? Mario Lopez played Slater, and I can't remember what her name was. Jessie, Elizabeth Berkley. They're in it. Apparently, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, however you say her name, is in it, and so is the guy who played Zach Morris, and he's the governor of California.
Oh yes, I remember this. Okay, so do you remember the theme song to Saved by the Bell?
Vaguely. My brother Curtis was big into it, and I never really watched it except for when he had control of the TV.
Okay, well, in the theme song, it tells you right in the theme song that the main character, Zach, is just a dork. He's just a guy that's just trying to make it through.
Okay.
And everything we hear is before the bell for school.
Right.
It's all a dream.
Ah.
Right? This is a kid's power fantasy. That's why Zach is able to pause time, and he's the cool kid who even the principal wants to be friends with.
That's true.
Right? It's all a fantasy. So, like,
And now they're taking it and they're making it reality. And
exactly.
Some of the characters are returning. AC Slater is the gym teacher at the high school. And, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I never really watched it that much. It was more your generation's kind of thing. But...
And, like, the more you went away from the original premise of the show, the more bad it got. Because, like, they had the one where they're working during the summer, and that one was terrible. And then they had the college one, which was short-lived and terrible. Like, absolutely terrible.
Yes, I do remember Saved by the Bell. The college years had less than a season, I think.
Yeah, it was bad.
And you watched all of these shows?
I did, and... Like, I enjoy the original Saved by the Bell, but you got to know what it is. It's a kid's power fantasy.
Yeah, because the logic of how high school worked in that show didn't make any sense.
Also, like, in that show, Screech makes a fully sentient AI, and he's just a kid in high school.
Right. Okay. Yes.
And, like, yeah, the show is a power fantasy,
and it's coming back to the Peacock, Josh. It's coming back to the Peacock.
So. I don't think these things are going to last. Because, like, Netflix isn't making money. And Netflix is the big boy in the game.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to compete with Netflix, not realizing Netflix is losing. Because they're based on a model of continuous expansion, and there's only so many people in the world.
Yes.
And, like, they're spending money faster than I don't have a safe analogy to speak of, but anyways... Right. They're spending money very quickly.
They certainly are. Yes, they are.
So, like, all these other ones are like, well, we're going to steal Netflix share and we'll get in on that action. What action? There's no action to get in on. Financially, this is a terrible idea. And you're splitting the market. Now, they're not really splitting the market because Netflix is going to keep their thing because they've got a long tradition at this point of, well, I got it on my Netflix. Why would I get something else? When they're just making their own but limited form of Netflix. And you got Disney. And I think very few other things have the draw that those two have. And even Disney, I'm not sure, beyond a couple shows, that people like really go to Disney for a lot of things other than keeping their kids occupied.
That's probably just about right, actually.
Because, like, other than a few of the Star Trek things and watching the Marvel movies, I don't watch Disney Plus. My kids do. Hey, don't bite me.
Who's biting you?
My cat. Because I'm sitting down in the basement, he's rubbing up against me and biting me.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so for the Disney stuff, it's mostly the kids shows, and even then. So I don't know how much longer without producing more of the stuff they promised to produce, right? And that's a big problem right now.
Well, nobody can get together for production because of lockdowns and quarantines and the world ending. So,
like, the only way you can do it is if you take your entire production team, put them off to the side, put them on there for 2 weeks, and shoot in a closed environment.
Right.
And, like, who's going to pay for that?
Nobody. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So that's pretty much the state of pop culture this week, Josh. I don't have any other new information.
Yeah, it's all on hold and waiting and delayed, and maybe we'll get around to it. Ow! Tap on that! Stop that!
That's Sir Lord Caramel, is it not?
That is Sir Lord Caramel. He wants to play, and he's biting my hand. Just be normal. Don't be weird.
Yeah, I say that to myself every day when I go outside. Just be normal. Don't be weird.
Like, he's not biting hard. He's just biting because he wants to. He's biting the skin on my wrist and pulling my hand. Like, come play. But he's got sharp little teeth because he's a freaking young cat.
Right. Okay. Well, this actually might be an excellent spot to end the podcast. Unless you have any other exciting news to share with our listeners.
I honestly do not. Because, like the rest of the world, the only thing that's coming up is the thing that's coming up. So, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yeah. All right. Well, so this was our first attempt at a Skype recording for the podcast. It's not the same as being at your kitchen table and talking pop culture and doing the shameless plugs for Kitty's store, Jump City Comic Books and the 101 Mall, or my other podcast, the Soul Forge podcast. But we do what we can, don't we?
Yeah. And, we'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah, as soon as the world returns to somewhat normal routine.
Yeah.
So
hopefully.
Listeners, yes, hopefully. Listeners, thanks for coming by. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Remember, if you want to donate to the show, you can support us by going to coffee.com/rustedsoul. That's ko-fi.com/rustedsoul. You can support us by sending us coffee. It's appreciated. It's a one-time donation. You can leave a 5-star review in any podcast catcher of your choice. But until next time, remember.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Rusted Robot Podcast is your best source for geek-style pop culture news.
I could do this all day.
When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gives out a warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the bell. If the teacher pops a test, I know I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night. Riding low in my chair, she won't know that I'm there. If I can hand it in tomorrow, it'll be alright. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the bell. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the bell.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.